Today we're going over a topic all about stickers with our Cricut.
Yes.
I am so excited for you to dive into this because there's a lot of people here that are newbies that just got their Cricut and they're like, I don't know how I found you, but please help me.
Listen, shout out if Jill is here, if my mom is here, shout out to Jill. I got her a Cricut for Christmas, y'all.
Welcome, 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 Jill. Did you gift her a membership? Have we hooked her up with a membership?
Not yet.
Okay,
I've not.
we'll hook Jill up with a membership. We love it. Awesome.
Okay, so here on the table today, we have some of our really, really pretty new floral MGL logos here. And we're going to teach you guys how to not only make these stickers, but make stickers in bulk. And you know, I think I've decided just last minute, I'm gonna throw in a little bit of a little extra flair training. And I think I'm gonna show you guys how to take SVGs as well.
Oh snap!
And turn them into stickers.
That's
I mean,
awesome.
if we're gonna talk about stickers, we might as well talk about all of it.
Yesterday I unboxed a Cricut, I set it up, and we made a box and a bow.
Wow! I thought you were just gonna unbox the Cricut and set it up.
Listen, I know. How about it?
I know. Okay, let me get logged in real quick. So, one thing that I do want to talk about. Let's go ahead and go overhead. And I want to talk to you guys about the different types of sticker paper that we use here in our office. Now, these are our tried and true. And I'm not saying that this is the end all be all. This is the only thing that you all can use.
It's our end all be all.
It's our end all be all, correct. This is what we love. Y'all, the Zicoto brand, however you want to say this, that I say it, Zicoto, this to me is the best. This is pretty much the only thing that I use. We have started using the HTV Ront, which I have ended up liking a lot.
But I will say, Lauren, let's just have this conversation.
Okay.
HTV Ront is great for personal stickers. If I'm giving something and if I want the best quality look to be like, I would sell this at a boutique, I still want the one up to your right.
I'm still going to go for Zicoto. Let's go ahead and open it up and I'll show you guys. So, and a lot of people will ask us, what's the difference in printable sticker paper and printable vinyl?
Ooh, great question.
That is a very, very good question.
Great question.
Really?
It's thicknesses and it's core. You know, if we're talking about sticker paper, you know, it's going to be papery. Like water would affect it.
But this is water resistant.
Yeah, and that's more, I would consider this more, it's printable vinyl. And it does say vinyl on it. So vinyl is what I would go for when we're talking about durability.
But I mean, when you think of sticker paper, it's like the paper stickers.
Yes.
So I guess I was saying this wrong.
That's okay.
I guess this technically is printable vinyl in a way.
Right.
And this is the matte of the Zicoto. It's probably my favorite.
Yes.
It is my go-to, is this, take a screenshot. Let's take a screenshot if you are wanting to make stickers.
Yes, grab it.
Take a screenshot of this. Everybody got that?
I love it.
Okay, now take a screenshot of this one. Give you a second to take a screenshot. There we go.
This is one of my favorite things when y'all are screenshotting.
I know. So these are both very, very water resistant. How many of these do you have on your emotional support water bottle?
Oh my, 20.
Exactly. And they're all in, when I say emotional support water bottle, Tanner carries this thing around all the time. How many years have you had those stickers on there?
Oh, 2. Me and Blake made them before he went off to college, and he's a junior now.
Yeah.
2020.
Yeah.
They've been on there since 2020.
And they're still great.
We love them.
So we get the Zicoto sticker paper off of Amazon. There is a link down below that it takes you straight to that sticker paper. We love it. Another one that we have, but I don't necessarily use a ton, honestly. 100% transparency here, guys.
Sure.
Is the Starcraft. It's not that I don't like it. It's just that it's got a different feel to it.
Yes.
It has, I don't know. It's just a different feel to it.
Right.
So that's going to be a personal, I'm not saying, and the thing is, what I want you guys to understand, try out the Zicoto. Like I said, this is our end all be all. This is our favorite. But try out different types to see which one that you like the best. That's the way, that is my suggestion to you guys to find out what you like. But I'm going to tell you, once you use the Zicoto, I don't think you're going to want to try anything else. Just my personal preference. Okay? So let's go ahead. I'm going to cancel this cut real quick. Does anybody have anything specific you are wanting to learn about when it comes to making papers? Drop me those questions.
Lauren, I got a question.
Okay.
Before we even dive in, we need to have a chat about printers. What to look
Oh,
for in
good
a
one.
printer.
What to look for in a printer when it comes to print and cut. You know why I didn't think about this? Why I didn't think about talking about printers?
It's okay.
Because, once again, my mom had the exact same question.
Yeah.
She said, and I don't know if there's anybody here that has this question. She was like, I told her, oh, you can make stickers with your Cricut. No problem. She said, wait, I can print on my Cricut?
There's a lot your Cricut can do in partnership with a printer.
But it's not print. You can't
Right.
print on your Cricut. So you do have to have an inkjet printer when you are making print then cut images. Now,
Yes.
you can use a laser, but know that it's going to be black and white. We do use laser for stickers for certain things. If you're foiling stuff, you can use a laser printer, but for full color stickers, you're going to need an inkjet printer. We really, really love all of the Canon printers when it comes to like inkjet printers that give us like the best quality image. You all know we love our Epsons for sublimation, but Canon is really the one we go to for like printing pictures and printing stickers and things like that. So those are, we have a Canon 9500, I think.
I believe so.
That we use out here that we really, really love. You can find an inkjet printer for a pretty good cost. Just look at the specs. You're going to want one that does print a higher quality image if you want higher quality stickers.
Yes. Now,
okay. This is one thing that I will say. This is the StarCraft Matte UV laminate for your inkjet printable vinyl.
Yes.
So this is something that you put over top of your stickers that you would print. So what you could do, because this is the clear, correct?
Yes.
So what you could do is take your Zicoto paper. I would probably use a matte if I was doing it for decals on a vehicle, and cut this, and then take the same image, like the cut image, and then cut this out and place it over top of your sticker, because this is a UV protectant.
Yes. Now, I've had some people, before we dive into the actual function of making stickers, I like to have these conversations. So someone said, wait, why can I not use my laser printer to make beautiful stickers? I've done it before. I actually tested this, Lauren.
Okay.
So Cricut says you have to use an inkjet printer. And the reason why is that there's a scanner on the Cricut that scans around the print, and it knows exactly where to actually cut. It's really great technology, but it says it can't scan laser ink. That's why it needs to be an inkjet.
Yeah.
So that's why we recommend inkjet, but if you only have a laser and you test it and it works.
It says it can't scan laser ink?
Because it's not ink.
I've cut it with laser ink before.
So have I. So have I. So I just wanted to have that honest, open convo. And you can take it with a grain of salt and do as you wish.
I've used laser ink to cut because we did that with the gold foil stickers.
I know, that's what, exactly. And it worked.
Interesting.
Anyway.
Interesting. I did not know that they said that. Okay. So there was another couple questions. What size sticker sells best? I think that's just going to be a personal preference. I don't really know that one size. I would say
there's room for all.
Size-wise, there is room for all. I have some stickers that are like a 3x3. I think I have what would Dolly do might be closer to like a 4x4.
Yeah.
But then I also have stickers that are like a 1.5 by something, like they're smaller. So if you have one image or you create an image, I would make it in multiple sizes. That way, and what you can do to maximize, and this was another question that I saw, and I will show you guys how to maximize your print and cut area. You can have one large sticker on the sheet and then have like 5 or 6 different smaller ones around
Right.
it. That way you cut, you take up the whole sheet and you use every part of it and you're not wasting.
Yes.
Okay? So let's go ahead. One thing that I do want to show you guys is if we're gonna come over here to the Maker's Gonna Learn website, what I really want to show you, one of the things that I'm very impressed about, so I don't know if you all, let's go back to one and let me talk about the differences in PNG and SVG, because I feel like we're gonna have a lot of questions about that before I jump into it. So we have 2 different types of files on our website that you can use with your Cricut. And I'm sure you all are gonna ask, well, what's the difference? So we have PNG, which is Portable Network Graphic, and we have SVG, which is a Scalable Vector Graphic, okay? Portable Network Graphic, Scalable Vector Graphic, PNG, SVG. One good thing that I do personally to remember to kind of keep them separated is with PNG, I just automatically think of well, that's set up for print and cut.
Right.
PNG, print and cut. One big difference though is if it is a PNG file, it is created with just a certain amount of pixels. So if you guys know what pixels are, they're like the little tiny squares that are different colors that when you put them all together, it makes one image.
Love it.
Okay? So that is when you scale that up, those pixels don't change. All they do is they get bigger. So the bigger the image gets, the more pixelated it is because the pixels are larger and you can see those edges. Like you can see those rough edges on the pixels. Does that make sense to everyone?
And one way I like to look at it is the SVG. I could literally take that SVG, anyone from our website, and I could scale it so large, it's on a billboard, and we look flawless.
That's what I was getting at next. So with scalable, you just got excited. Listen, I do the same thing. I do the same thing. So with SVGs, Scalable Vector Graphics, Carol says, I tell myself S stands for scissors, P stands for print. That's a really good way to keep them separated because the SVGs are what you have to use to cut, so scissors. But the other thing with the Scalable Vector Graphic is that you can, like Kenner said, you can scale it as large as you want. And y'all, it's not gonna lose the quality. It's gonna be the exact same super crisp image. So it's scalable to whatever size you want and it's still beautiful.
Yes.
Okay? So those are the 2 separate files that we have on our Maker's Gonna Learn website. Now, one thing that you're gonna run into, if it says print and cut on it, there's probably not gonna be an SVG file because it's gonna have a lot of detail, a lot of colors, and it's very hard to make those layers because with an SVG file, you have layers. So if you have a red layer, then you're gonna have a black layer and you might have a white layer. So you're gonna have 3 colors with 3 layers on the SVG. With print and cut, you can have 15 colors.
But it's flat.
And it's flat.
It's printing away.
Okay. Now that we've kind of talked about the difference in PNG, SVG, knowing that if it says print and cut, it's gonna only have the PNG version on our website, let's go ahead and hop over to our website so that I can show you guys. And I'm actually gonna come down here. If you can, we're here at the cut file section, so I've already gone to the cut files. I wanna go to the categories and I wanna scroll all the way down here to our print and cut section. Y'all, our print and cut section is huge. Well, it's only showing like 4. Let's go to view all. What is it doing? Oh, because I have box here.
Yes, that was me.
Let's not do that. So we're print and cut, search, view all. It's probably gonna take us a couple minutes. Do you have to calibrate Cricut for only print and cut? Francis asked us that question. And no, there's actually more calibration than just print and cut, but we can walk you through a print and cut calibration if that is something that you all want here in a few minutes. Y'all, our print and cut section is so large that where it's going to take us a few minutes.
It's going to be huge. Yeah.
It's going to take us a few minutes. So let's go ahead and while that is, since we're, no, never mind. Never mind. I was going to say, since we're talking about calibration, I can go ahead and show you how to calibrate while that's loading, but I don't want to confuse you. We are just talking about files right now.
So this is one of our new features, is this view all area, and I specifically asked for it. Now, the print and cut area for view all is, I think, my personal favorite because it showcases like the value of the membership so thoroughly. But as you can see, it does take a moment to load all of the cut files, which, you could do this if you want it to load faster, do it in batches of 100. You could even show them the sort by area. I think it won't mess up anything.
Sort by, most popular, newest, alphabetical.
What's our other option for view over here?
View is 30, 90, and all. We can go to 30.
Or 90 would work good because that will load really fast.
Let's search for 30.
And then you could just go through page by page or whatever you would like. So it's super fun. You might just want to refresh the whole page. I don't know. Sometimes, the view all, it's like, what in the world?
Okay, so someone asked, said that they're still having issues extracting zip files. We'll go over that very briefly today, how you can extract zip files, how you are going to download them. Now, we are using what we call a mini Mac, so it's kind of like a love child of a Windows and a Mac computer. It's not fully Mac, but it's not fully Windows. It actually leans more toward the Mac side of things, but Windows and Mac still are very similar. I know we have an HP desktop or laptop here in our office. You do have to extract some of the files, like you have to right click and click extract, and then it will extract a little bit differently. We will be doing a video on that coming up very soon, but we'll talk a little bit about it today. Y'all, I do not know what is going on. Let's try this right quick because it is still loading because we have so many files on our website.
Yes. On Tuesday. Tuesday. So yesterday.
We have plenty on there that shows you how to upload them. We already have them uploaded. So let's get some ready to print and cut. So here we are on our blank canvas. What you're going to do is you're going to go over to your upload section. We are actually going to be using the floral MGL file today. But y'all, let's just go to view all and we'll pick some of the ones that we've already downloaded. So I know we're going to do this one. So we're going to add that one to Canvas. Let's go on down. Is this one an SVG, I wonder? It looks like it might be. We're going to add that one to Canvas too. I like that one. This one is a good one to customize. Add it to Canvas. I know it's an SVG. These are some beautiful print and cut. This one is a very good example. We're going to add that one to Canvas. Awesome. Okay, so we have 4.
Love it.
On our canvas. So we're going to go back to our canvas, add to Canvas. Here we go. Awesome sauce. So this one right here, let me go ahead and I'm going to hide these, and we're going to do these one by one so that we can go through. This one right here is already a PNG that you download from our website, and y'all, you size that up and down, you size it to what you want it, and it is good to go. There's nothing else you have to do this, okay? Nothing else you have to do. So is it the site that's...
It is. And I've already reached out to our web dev team just to see, like, hey, we're training.
We're live.
I literally all just got out of a meeting for a few of the bugs that the website had. So some of y'all were asking about a few bugs.
Okay.
We are addressing those right away. That's why I was in a web dev meeting right before today's show.
Awesome.
So yes, it is working. It's just a little slow today.
So when you are working with like this file specifically, all you're going to have to do is size it, because you can see, if you look at the edges, you can see that it's just going to cut around the edge of that sticker. And that's it. Some of those, that's all you have to do. Nikita asked, can you use a sublimation printer for stickers? No, sublimation is specifically for like taking sublimation ink and transferring it over to different materials like t-shirts, anything like that has a polymer coating on it, cups, things like that. I don't think you could sublimate on sticker paper. I don't think it would, the heat would really mess up the actual, like the stickers. So that's, you do have to have inkjet for stickers, unfortunately. So back over in Design Space, all you have to do is size this one. Now let's talk about this file, which is a PNG already. Okay?
Love it.
So for those that are new, looking at this file, you're gonna, I think, oh, that's so beautiful, so many colors. I don't have all that vinyl. I'm gonna make stickers out of this. All I have to do is size it and I'm good to go.
I love it.
You would think that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let me show you what you definitely need to make sure you look at before you do that. Because if you were just to size this image, which it is a PNG, so, oh, Caesar has sublimation sticker sheets. Did you know that?
I think so.
Oh, well then I guess you can.
Oh, sublimation sticker sheets.
So you could sublimate on the sticker sheets and then...
The ink can't run. Lauren, that's a new video dropped in our lap. Boom.
Rebecca.
Thank you, Rebecca.
You just changed the game for me. Listen, we're learning just as much as you are.
I love it.
We learn every day. So I love it. I love when you share your stuff that you have. There are things, our minds go every which way. So that's it. Okay. So for those that are new, you could see this and think, oh, I'm just going to size this. It's going to print beautifully. And you know, sometimes it will. But what I want to show you guys, I'm going to bring in a shape. And I'm going to size this up. And I'm going to move it to the back. Okay? Oh, I didn't mean to put it in there. Let's just move it up here. And then let's just go to arrange and send to back. Are y'all seeing this?
Look at this.
Do you see where it's white here? But when I take this, it goes gray. And then it goes white. Everywhere that it goes from white to gray, showing you that this square is behind it, that's where the Cricut is going to cut. So the Cricut is going to cut out all of these little places inside this flower. The Cricut's going to cut out in between the flower. The Cricut's going to cut out all these little teeny tiny pieces. And what's going to happen is this sticker is going to lose its integrity. It's going to completely, there's a good chance that the fine point blade is going to rip all of those little pieces and it's not going to cut as smooth as you want it. Okay?
But Lauren, there's a feature that is your favorite.
There is a feature that is my favorite that I'm going to tell you guys about. And what that is, I'm just going to size this down and we may keep this over here real quick. What you're going to do if you already have a PNG and you want it to cut around the outside of the sticker, what you're going to do is you're going to come up here to offset, which is one of my favorite tools to use. You're going to size the offset how you want it. So really and truly, I would probably go with a 0.2 or maybe even a 0.15 because I don't want that large of an area around the sticker. You can even go lower than that. Let's try a 0.1. Okay, so that's going to cut super close to that. And you are going to click apply.
And let me tell y'all, I love when it gives me a different color as the offset because it just changed the whole style, vibe, everything.
And really from there, because what you can do now, you can come up here to your colors and you can, y'all look at this. You can make it whatever color you want and really change the whole design of the sticker. Like you can make it black and make it pop. You can change it to a brown and keep it like more of the retro style. You can even leave it white if you like the white. Let me go ahead and change our canvas color real quick so you all can see kind of more of what I'm talking about. So here is like the white version of it. Click our offset result. You can change it to brown. You can even come here to the advanced options and you can really make it a custom color, whatever you want. You can type in your hex code. I love a good hex code. All I have to do is type it in. I don't have to manually find anything.
Right.
So you can play around with it really however you want. Okay, so I like this brown. I think I'm just gonna leave it like this brown color. So now what you would do, because if you look at your layers panel, the offset result and the mama with flowers right here, they are still separate. So if I come over here and I move this, y'all, they're not together. So if that happens and you move them on accident, here's a little trick for our newbies. Select them both, make sure they're both selected over here, come to a line and center them.
Lauren, we gotta slow you down because you are literally shaking people up right now.
What?
Let's go back to how you were customizing that background.
Okay.
So we just need to go back. We're gonna pause and we're gonna go back to, because you were blowing some people's minds.
Okay, so do we want to go back to the offset or no?
Did you already attach it?
No, I've not.
So let's just go back to how you customized that background color.
Okay.
Because everyone's commenting, what are hex codes?
Okay.
So if you are here and you want to know how to get the perfect color, a hex code is a 6-symbol code made up of 3 2-symbol elements. Pretty much in layman's terms, you take the color with a dropper and then it gives you a number.
Let's go here. So if you will just Google hex codes, this is well, not hex with a 4. This is my little secret when it comes to coming up with color palettes, is using the hex codes. And you can actually do hex codes color palettes.
Oh, okay.
And it will pop up different color palettes.
Look at that.
So if you go to like Google Images, let's see if this will pull it up.
That's awesome.
Like here is a color palette.
I love that.
And it gives you all the hex codes at the bottom. Here's another color palette if you want salmon. There's so many different options for you for hex code color palettes. This is how I do it right here.
So fun.
Look at all of these color palettes you can go with. And this is a really good design element if you are wanting to sell your stuff. Having all of this in your back pocket, just Google it.
I love that.
Just Google hex code color palettes. Yes, Ava, this video will replay. You can replay this. And there is actually a tool. I'm pretty sure you can use it. I think it might be on Windows. I don't know if it's on Mac because I'm pretty sure I used it on a Windows computer before. A tool on your computer where you can do a color picker on anything on your screen. So you can come in here and specifically get this cream color. But yes, this is where
it's a game changer.
It's game changer. So if you have your offset results selected and you come up here to your colors and you go to advanced, this right here is where you type in your hex code.
Love
so
it.
Black is going to be all zeros.
Wow.
And then you would, I mean, really you can play around with it. H5, 7, I don't know if it gives you one or not.
I'm sure it would.
No, it doesn't.
6, just 6 numbers.
1, 2,
6.
3, 4, 5, 6. I don't know, but anyway.
So can you pick, so like if you wanted to change it and make it the same color as like the mama, you know, the mama text, you could just select it from the colors already on the palette above, right? Or could you?
No, because see, I've hidden, this has all the layers. So that's where those colors are coming from.
Cool.
So for the Cricut actual design function, there is not like a color picker for a PNG that's already created.
Right.
That's the only downfall with Cricut is there's not a color picker for what's already created.
Sure.
You can try your best to get it as close as possible. So if you wanted to go with the cream, a lot of times what I do is I will go with either yellow or orange, depending on what undertone this has. So to me, this has more of a yellow undertone. So I'll go to like the yellow and then go to advanced and come down here to like more of the white, like cream, and try to get it that way. So I feel like that got pretty close to it.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
So just look at your undertones of the colors and do the best you can. That might even have more of a brown undertone with orange. So we come over here to this and no, I think it's got more yellow. I think I was right the first time. But anyway,
so cool.
That's how you would customize your colors.
This is just a fun thing to keep in your back pocket. And let me tell you, you're going to come back to this. You're going to be like, that one time Lauren was teaching about print and cut stickers, I can learn about hex codes, come back to it. So you just Pencil us in.
Another thing that I do want to show you guys while we are here, and I might can do it with the Hello Sunshine. We'll do it there. So now that you've got your offset fixed, what you have to do is select them both for it to become a truly customizable sticker. Select them both, flatten them together, and then you're going to size it down.
Do not forget to flatten. Will you zoom in and now bring that background square just so
Yes.
everyone can see the difference now that that background's here?
So
it will change the view.
let me zoom back out and I'll just size it up. So let's size this back up. Now when I have this background square, I pull it over this way. Let's make it larger. And y'all, there is no gray. So that means that the Cricut is going to just cut the outside of all of this sticker.
Wow.
Okay? Does that make
That is awesome.
And April made a good point. She said she's asked, can you drag your PNG into Canva to check the colors of it? Absolutely.
Yes.
Because Canva has the color picker and you can do that. If you use Canva, we like to use Canva a lot for crafting. You can pull in your PNGs into Canva. There are so many different apps that you could use to find the color of a specific image and color match that way. But I do know that Canva does give you the hex code of certain colors.
Now, Lauren, Sherry brought up a great question.
Okay.
She said, do you attach before flatten?
Do you? I do not.
So you don't have, so when you flatten, it does the attach, it is already a God-given assumption
that you're attaching. Yes.
So in your mind, you're doing the process right, but here's what I want you to think about. So everyone's that may also think like this, because I would too. Flatten does two huge things. It is going to attach any of the layers as what you see is what you'll get, which is so good. And number two, it turns all those colors into a printable image. So that is going to become a print and cut. So flatten does both of it for you. So there's no need to group attach because you're going to flatten and it's going to become one beautiful layer anyway. So just flatten. Make it look make sure it looks good, feels good, colors right, then flatten. Flatten should be one of the last steps you take when making a sticker.
Now I'm going to really blow your mind. I'm about to really blow your mind, y'all. So now what I'm going to do, since we're talking about flatten, this is an SVG.
Love it.
Do you see all these layers here? Does everybody understand that this is an SVG? So technically, I can cut this out of vinyl right now. But let's say I don't have all of these color vinyl. I don't have this color vinyl, but I still want to make this beautiful sticker.
Yes.
Okay. What can you do?
I don't know.
What do you do, Tanner?
I don't know.
I don't know. So let's say you're like, I like these colors, but that's not really my style. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to come in here and you're going to select these different layers. So we'll start on the outside. You know what? Let's say we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've got 6.
Oh.
What we're going to do.
I was going to ask you to do this.
We're going to go to Google Chrome. Ooh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to play around.
Let's leave that black one. Let's let the black layer that's on the SVG stay there.
Okay.
And you just pick one of these that you love and keep the black.
So we're going to pick one of these hex code color palettes that we love.
We are going to turn an SVG into our very own.
Yes. We're going to turn it into our very own. Did you
okay,
say one
now I'm officially in Inner Circle. And Lauren is a fantastic teacher. Woohoo.
You know, I've not seen one that stands out. I kind of like this one for some reason. It's speaking to me, but I don't know. I don't know. Let's keep looking because y'all,
there's so many.
There's so many.
That's awesome.
There's so many. What do you see, Tanner? One that stands out to
Oh my
you?
gosh, I kind of like this, where your cursor is. Any from that row just screams nursery for me.
Right here?
Any one of those 4. Which one are you feeling?
Something about this green and purple right here I'm really liking.
I think with the sticker, I think that would be great.
Okay.
Let's do it.
So here, clicked on this. Here are all of our hex codes.
This is like this is like a whole mini training training.
I'm pretty sure our live today with making stickers has completely changed, which You know,
Laura says...
I didn't come in here expecting to teach
Laura,
this training.
Okay, so Laura says, can you legally change an SVG? Honey, here at Makers Gonna Learn, let me tell you, we brag and we praise when you take an SVG
and you make it your own.
And you make it something that no one else has. So please use it as a tool to get you to something custom that no one else has, because y'all know you can't beat that feeling.
Nope. So what we're gonna do, I'm going to make this a little smaller so I can still see this, or I can come back and forth. Actually, let's drag. We'll come here. This is fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this one, our top. Actually, we're gonna come over here and select this layer, come back over here, and we'll do it with the, I think I wanna move, do we wanna move dark to light or light to dark? Let's move light to dark. So we're gonna do the first one. So we're gonna use this FFE, DBA, and we're gonna come over here. We're gonna come to our colors. We're gonna go to advanced, and then we're just gonna type that in. So it's gonna be FFE, DBA. Y'all, there it is.
Look
Pulls it right
at
in.
that.
Now we're gonna come to this layer. We're gonna come back over here. We're gonna go CEBB.
Lauren, copy
86.
and paste this. There's no room for failure here.
But when I go to click on it, it gives me, it takes me to that color.
Lauren, I'm
what?
coming over here. So go back to go back to where you were. Go back to where you were.
Okay. Go back to where you were.
So this is crazy. So so without even clicking, you can still highlight and then Command C and now paste that in.
Okay.
I'm taking over
Tanner's
this.
teaching me stuff too.
Oh my gosh.
There we go.
Did it work?
Yep. Except for it gave me two.
Just don't highlight that the next time. Ooh,
there we go.
Look at our color.
I still want to change this. We'll change it to something here in a minute.
Yeah, you can pick something because you'll have all these colors.
So now we want to go to the pink layer. We're going to come back over here to Google Chrome. We're going to highlight this, Command C it, come back to our colors, and Command V it. Boom. Then we're going to pick our orange layer. We're going to come over here to Google. We're going to drag and Command C, or copy and paste, right click, whatever, advanced, paste. See, I even changed that cream color to this, and then
because you had the starting point.
Because I had the starting point
of the hex colors.
Yes.
So you can even go more customized for your project, which is so good. I love it.
So now what I can do is I can come back over here. I'm actually going to grab, what I want to do is I want to grab this guy. I'm going to grab this cream color because I still like this cream color, and I'm going to copy it, and then I'm going to come back over here to Design Space. And what you're going to do, because once again, this is, if I were to change this, if I were to flatten this, it's all going to flatten, and the Cricut's still going to cut in between all of these different lines, okay? So I'm going to select all of them.
I love this.
I'm going to create an offset, okay? So y'all know I don't like a thick offset, so we're going to come down to 0.15. Try that. Do not fret.
This will be good training too.
Do not fret. We're going to apply that.
Looks totally different now.
Looks totally different.
I love
Looks
it.
totally different. Come back up here. I'm going to pull in my cream. I still don't know that I love it. I like that better. There we go.
I'm telling you, nursery vibes. I don't
Nursery
know why
vibes. Okay. Now, once again, because you can still see all of this gray back there, the Cricut will cut that. What you're going to do, please stay with me, okay? You're going to click your offset. You're going to come down here to contour, and you're going to hide all contours. Do we need to do that again?
I mean,
do we need to do that again?
So let's go over this. You did not attach anything yet.
I've not attached anything.
You have not flattened anything
I have
yet.
not flattened anything.
You went and selected that background, which you already had selected because you changed the color.
So I like to work, for those that are new to Cricutting, I like to work from my layers panel, okay? So I'm clicking the offset result that I just created, okay? Clicking the offset result that I just created. It is a basic cut. Now, if you're already working with a PNG and this happens, you are going to have to change it to a basic cut function. And what you're going to do, you're going to come down here to contour. Contour. You're going to hide all contours.
Whoa.
And then it just gives you the outline.
I didn't have to click on each one of those.
You did not have to click on each one. Now, while the offset result is still selected, I'm going to click Command, select all of those layers.
Whoa.
Wait for it. Flatten. You've got a beautiful...
You've just made a brand new sticker
from an SVG.
That's customized.
Customized sticker from an SVG.
Let's come up with 3 ways that you could use this real life. Number 1, I want to talk about party themes.
Yes.
How many SVGs can you now customize to your party theme, whether it's using fonts, whether it's using, you know, all sorts of images.
Yes.
That's huge. Number 2, I think like doing any type of shirts that you want to have a certain color palette, whether even if you know, even if you don't know your color palette yet, use websites like you just search what hex.
I just searched hex code color palettes. There are so many different websites that will come up. So Susie had a really good question that I want to address.
Hey Susie.
She asked, why did it not fill in those 2 little areas on the bottom? That is a really, really good question, and let me answer that for you. So we're going to unflatten this. The reason that it did not, and I'm just going to select my offset result. As you can see, because I flattened it, the operation up here changed to print and cut. So I'm going to change it back to basic cut. It will change the color. We're just going to come in here. We'll have to go back to advanced and Command V that color and change it back over here. So the reason that it did not fill that in is because they were not attached. So let's just go ahead and delete that offset result completely. Let's select them both. We're going to go back to offset, and I had it at 0.15. So if you go up on your offset to like 0.25, let that fill that in. You can see it's these 2 parts are still not touching. So what you have to do is if you want those 2 parts touching, you have to keep going up, and you can use the sliding scale. I'm just the type of girly that likes I just like punching in my numbers so I can be precise. I'm a very precise person when it comes to that. So you can change the offset and move it up if you don't like the look of it cutting up in the rainbow to a larger offset. Now it will cut a lot larger on the outside of that as well, but that's going to be a completely personal decision from that point.
Yes. Now, someone said, can we use SVGs for sublimation? Yes, you can do what Lauren taught and use hex codes, flatten it, and do. Someone called people out. A colleague of mine who I love, trust, adore very much said that it was unprofessional. I read Lauren the post and I almost made a video responding to her, and then Lauren talked me off the ledge. But it just wasn't Christian-like for me to do. No. But it is not unprofessional for you to use software that you are comfortable with, and if it fits within the parameter of print and cut, to print it out on sublimation paper with your sublimation printer from Design Space. Yeah. So this right here could go on a onesie for a baby girl, or whoever, on a onesie period. Yeah. If you wanted to. So yes, you can use SVGs, you can customize them for sublimation. Thank you for being here.
And really and truly, I actually just used Cricut Design Space for sublimation for a Christmas outfit, for a Christmas shirt that I made for someone the other day, because it's just natural for me. Like, I know how to use Canva, and I use Canva all the time.
It was just natural.
It was just natural for me to open up Cricut and be like, oh, this is going to be a very small design. I'm just going to do it in Cricut. It was super easy,
Now, so what Tammy brings up a question. I really like this. I'm just curious, if we change an SVG to something new, is it still a Maker's Gonna Learn design? Tammy, honey, yes, it is. Because the artist that designed this, that developed it, you're still using their hand lettering, their drawing, and our property that we purchase, in partnership with our artist. So you changing a color, doesn't change it from being a Maker's Gonna Learn design. So as long as you're, you have to manipulate a design like 20% or so to create a new piece of art. So, and that would not just be by color and things like that. So that's a great question.
Okay.
But, yay.
So now let me go ahead and fix this. I'll put the offset back on. 1.5, we'll apply that. What did I do? I changed the color because I want to show you guys how you can really manipulate your print and cut area that you're working with. Back to this offset, we got to change it back to a basic cut. That's the only thing, y'all, is it can get pretty like back and forth with this.
Sure.
Contour, we've already talked about this, so I'm not doing anything new that we haven't talked about. Selecting them both, flattening them together. So let's say I wanted to, this was a larger sticker, so I wanted this, and then we had these two stickers as well. So I'm gonna delete this out, and we're gonna go to, and let's make this one a little smaller. That way we have like a smaller one, medium, and a larger one. We're gonna go to Make It, okay? Once we go to Make It, you can see we still have a lot of area on this that we want to fill up. So one of the hacks that I like to do is you can duplicate however many you want on your canvas if you want to, or if you know, I want to make 4 of all of these stickers. What you can go is go to Project Copies, hit 4, apply that, boom. It did it for you.
Whoa.
It did it for you.
Lauren, I'm trying to top comments, and then I see like you're making a bunch of stickers like really quickly.
This is the fastest way that I have found. Me personally, I like making stickers in bulk.
Carol has counted 17 hacks, and once she hit 17, she stopped counting.
Oh,
Carol, you're
sorry.
awesome. Too much. We should start charging for these.
I know. So let's just go on up to 5. Let's apply 5 because I really want to show you guys how you can manipulate these files. So let's say we want to, what you can do with Design Space, don't let Design Space fool y'all, okay? Because this showed up here and you still had, look at this area over here that I could have moved this sticker, and you can zoom in. So we're gonna zoom in and we're gonna take full advantage of all of this area.
Stop it, Lauren.
So this one you can't really move over there, but we're gonna move this one here. We're gonna move that there.
Y'all, I just want to let you know, Lauren practices literally everything she preaches here because you will see her spend extra amounts of time
moving
at
stuff
work
around
to just make sure that she stewards, like it is so nice to see how Lauren stewards our Maker's Gonna Learn supplies and just everything, because she wants to get the most out of it. And I love that she teaches this to you all because, I mean, if you know me, I usually don't, and and that's how I live my life too. Like, it's not just on the show, like I just don't do that. And I love being able to, that's why Makers and Learn is not just Tanner. It's not the Tanner show. That's why I love it. And it's so fun. Because look at all this. How did you just make this room?
Now we have all this room here that I can put other ones. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come down here to this mat. I'm gonna zoom out.
Oh my gosh.
We're gonna move.
You could get another
see
mama.
how many.
You could get another mama.
Oh, I know, but I'm gonna see if I can get another mama and another Maker's Gonna Learn.
You
Yeah, I'm
cannot.
going to. I'm gonna try it.
Lauren.
We're gonna move this one to number 1.
There is no way.
We'll come back and move it in a minute because now I'm gonna come over here and hit those 3 little dots, and I'm gonna move it again. And I'm gonna move this one over here. And it may not fit, but by golly, it may fit. Oh, it's gonna fit.
Michelle says, for someone new, would you
Look at
recommend
that.
starting with print and cut? Yes, Michelle, I highly.
I could have fit another Maker's Gonna Learn on there, right there.
You could totally put another Maker's Learn on there, Lauren.
But that would mean that I would have to duplicate it again for number 6.
I think everyone's got their value.
But listen, did y'all just see how much room? Now, I don't know that I can take this rainbow and move it to the second sheet. It still might be a little big. Honestly, these stickers were pretty big, but you can. Oh, wait, can I? Can I? I don't know.
No.
We can try. A girl can dream. A girl can dream.
This is so funny.
I can't do it. I can't fit 3. I was trying to move them and manipulate them.
Lindsay says, Lauren has dropped the mic several times today.
I mean, I'm trying.
Lauren must eat, sleep, drink her craft. She is at the top of her game. Listen, y'all.
I'm trying.
Lauren helped me. So fun little story. Lauren helped me do a webinar training over like 2 weekends before Christmas. And I literally told Lauren, I said, Lauren, you have to take the 2 days after Christmas off because I feel so bad you've worked so much. Lauren and I have been through a lot this month.
Yeah.
So,
but
yeah.
It's all good.
2 days and now she's back better than ever.
Back and better than ever.
I need to go take 2 days off and come back.
I know. So I'm going to, what I'm going to do, actually, I'm going to have you run out there, put that in the printer for me, grab me another sheet of paper.
You want a paper?
I'm going to print this, and then I want you put that one in there first and then put another sheet of paper behind it because I'm going to print a calibration sheet.
Okay.
Because while we're on it, y'all, we're just going to talk about calibration. We might as well, because if you're going to talk about stickers and cutting stickers on your Cricut, you're going to have to need to learn how to calibrate your machine. Okay?
It's in here.
We're going to print this. I personally am going, so this is going to be, adding bleed is once again a personal preference. You can add bleed, you don't have to add bleed.
With your offset being a special color, I would totally add bleed.
Yeah, but one thing you are going to have to do, you're going to have to use System Dialog. I do not want you all to print if you're not using System Dialog.
If you're a newbie, you just need to come back to us. I know we've taught a lot, but this right here is where it gets good. Okay, so come back to us.
So we are going to be using the Epson TS9500. I don't know why it's gray.
It might have been because we were on a black and white printer before.
We're going to go to color. Haha, got it. Best quality. Always do best quality. And then I do feed from rear tray. It just tends to do better when we feed it from the rear tray, okay? And we are just printing the first page. So we're gonna print that bad boy. And then we are going to leave it there because I manipulated all of our files. We're not gonna go print our calibration sheet because if I do that, it's not gonna print, it's not gonna do that. So while that is printing, I'm going to browse all material and I'm going to type in Printable, and then I'm going to use Printable sticker paper white. Okay? Printable sticker paper white. Now, there are a couple ways that you can print or you can cut stickers. You can do a kiss cut. A kiss cut is where it just cuts through the top layer, which is what we're going to do today. You can do a full cut where it cuts all of it completely away from the sticker. So one example, so this one, let's go overhead. This, some of them will do it. This is what I mean by like a full cutaway sticker, is where it will cut all the way through. This one, for some reason, cut through parts of it and didn't cut through all of it. But a kiss cut is where it just cuts so you can leave it on the sheet. Okay?
Love it.
Does that make make sense?
Yes.
Okay, let's see if that is. I'm going to run out here, see if that's printed.
Hello, my friends. Oh, my gosh.
So now,
look at this.
What we're going to do, we're going to align this on our mat in the top left-hand corner. I almost called it the right-hand corner, and I was going to have to say, you know, my other right. And I'm going to take my brayer that's not in here.
We got the Cricut
it's all good.
burnishing tool right there.
Yep, and we're just going to lay this down flat. And you do have to be careful if your inkjet printer, like especially on the glossy paper. I printed this on the matte paper, but if you're printing on glossy paper, sometimes you have to make sure that your ink dries before you burnish this down. But we're just gonna make sure that you burnish this down really, really well.
Love it.
Now what we're gonna do, we're gonna come over here to our Cricut. It is on Explorer 3, thank the Lord. We're going to load that in. We're just
So a lot of us have been asking, do I need to calibrate before doing something like this? And I want to be fully transparent. This is our first print then cut with this new machine. So the way I look at Cricut and print and cut is I do calibration if something is wrong. But a lot of you may be like, Tanner, I'm not wasting a whole sheet of printable material. Then yes, I would recommend calibrate first, then do this. But this will be a great test to see the machine that we unboxed yesterday going to straight into print and cut.
Yep.
Will it work? Leave me a comment right now. Do you think it's going to be perfect or do you think it's going to be off? Yes or no? Like,
yes.
Is it going to be perfect or off? Leave me a comment.
So I did use the Canon. I used the Canon printer. And I want to talk about what this Cricut is doing right now.
Ooh.
For those that don't know. So if you could see, there was a black line around, there was a black box around all of our stickers. So what the Cricut is doing now is it was registering those black lines so that it knew where to cut, okay? And now it is cutting our images out. Somebody asked if, how do you do the kiss cut? Your Cricut is already set up to do that kiss cut. Exactly. You have to put it on more pressure to have it cut all the way through. And there are different materials that are gonna cut different. So you have to learn your machine. Honestly, y'all, different machines cut different. My machine that I have out here in the craft room cuts differently than Alicia's machine. And you just have to learn your machine.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just a trial and error process. You're gonna mess up. I wish you guys knew how many times we messed up.
Right.
On a daily basis. Every single day.
True. True.
You all think that what we do is like that you get frustrated because it looks so easy for us to do it. But y'all, we go through trial and error just like you guys do so that we can tell you what not to do when it comes to crafting with your Cricut.
Now, Christina, for the Explorer Air 2 lineup, I always leave that machine on custom and I choose my setting from Cricut just like you would on Explorer 3 Maker.
Yes.
That's what I do.
So if you do have an older machine, the Explorer Air 2, for those that don't know, have the dial still, leave it on custom, choose it from your design space. That's the only, really the only way to do it.
How is it cutting? I'm so excited.
So far, it's a little off.
Really?
It is.
I'm excited to show. I'm excited to show.
It is off. For those that said off,
congratulations.
It's off. So now that it's printed, let's go overhead.
So show them the little scan too, because a lot of us are curious about the scanning.
So first of all, people ask, how does it know where to cut? This line right here, the black line around your stickers, that's what happens. So go back over to our Cricut. So this is your housing. If you look right here at your housing, there is a white box. There is a scanner in that white box and a light that turns on so that it recognizes those black lines. So it will go to the left-hand corner, right-hand top corner, down to the bottom 2 corners, and it will scan those lines so that your Cricut knows where to cut. So back to this overhead, you can see it scanned all of this, but still yet, our Cricut did not cut perfectly. So let me take it off the mat. Well, actually here I said printable sticker paper and I was gonna do a kiss cut, and it cut all the way through. Once again, this is knowing the material that you're using and knowing your machine. This is the first time I've used this machine. But you can see that it is still off, like it cut. You can still see white, a little bit of white on this side. And I'm really, really glad that it was off. I'm so glad that it was off because what we're gonna do now, we're gonna calibrate.
Yay.
And I'm gonna teach you guys how to calibrate your machine. I feel like we're running quite over on this one.
Oh, you know, it's boot camp week, so we have all the time in the world dedicated to y'all. It is
all the
so
time.
Good. I got therapy at 3 o'clock, so I gotta leave here by 2:40, but I can be here until then.
Well, sounds good. So we are going to, I'm just gonna not take up the full screen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come to the 3 lines on the top left-hand side of our screen, okay? This is where you're gonna find your dashboard. We're going to go down here and click calibration, okay? Now, because we are using the Explorer Air 3, it does not use adaptive tools. So the only calibration on an Explorer series machine is going to be print and cut. If you have a Maker or a Maker 3, you have the option to calibrate print and cut, calibrate your knife blade, and calibrate your rotary blade, okay? You're gonna have 3 options if you have a Maker or Maker 3.
Right.
Yes, if you do have a Maker, you still have to calibrate, and the print and cut calibration is the same all across the board.
Yep.
Okay? So this is the same for everyone. So we are going to be using our Canon TS 9500 series. We are going to print our calibration sheet. That is sending that to the printer. And then while that is printing, I'm just going to come in here with my little spatula, and I'm going to pull my stickers up off of our mat. And for those that are new, when you are pulling stuff off of your mat, here's another hack. Add this to the list, Carol. Turn your mat upside down and use gravity. Let gravity be your friend when you are taking stuff off the mat. Okay? And really and truly, scraper tools help too. So we're taking all of this off the mat. I don't know if you all can see how I'm doing this or not. So one thing I said we were going to talk about the Kiss Cut. So I used the printable sticker paper for this. I probably could have used the printable vinyl, but if this happens and the stickers cut away and you want it just to be a Kiss Cut, go back, use the same setting, but use less pressure the next time. Right. And it should give you a perfect cut. So now we have our mat cleared. I'm going to run and grab our calibration sheet real quick.
Ooh, Lauren's printing out this calibration sheet, and she's going to walk you through the steps that you actually take to calibrate, which for us now we know, do this first on a piece of copy paper. Don't waste your good material so you don't waste a sheet of material like we did today.
So I printed it on copy paper. You are going to once again line it up you need to be as precise as you can with this. It is very important that you are precise with this. It doesn't matter what kind of mat you load it on, just as long as you have it on a mat and you are precise with it. So we're just going to make sure that this lays down very nicely, okay? Now what we're going to do, we're going to come back to our share screen. We're going to click continue. It shows you, place it in the top left corner. We just did that. Continue. We are doing the Explore 3. Oh. There we go. Okay. Carrie also said, where do you buy your vinyl at? 143vinyl.com.
Link down below.
Linked below. Now what we're going to do, we are going to load our Cricut load our mat into our machine. Load our Cricut into our mat, you know, whatever. Whatever. Now, once that registers our mat, it will tell us on the screen what to do. Now it's telling us to press the go button, so we're going to hit play. Now, a lot of people ask us, now real quick, let's go over to our machine. This is what it does with Print and Cut, is it's calibrating that black line around it, top and then bottom. Going back to the top, okay. Making sure it's right on the bottom.
Yes.
Y'all see that? Now it goes to that side and it registers. Somebody also said, sometimes it's hard with glossy paper. Yes, if you're using glossy sticker paper, sometimes it is hard for your Cricut to register, especially if you have a really bright area, because especially here in our studio, we have lots of lights going on from different directions. So sometimes that light will bounce off that shiny paper and it will distort how the Cricut is reading those lines. So sometimes you just have to turn your lights off and let it do its thing.
Yeah, sometimes move it around, things like that. All right, so while Lauren walks you through this, it's going to be so good just so that you can see. And now it's asking Lauren some questions.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so go back to our share screen. Assessment number 1. Without unloading the mat, so I wish I could show you guys, but I can't. It asks us if it is closer to this image or closer to this image. I'm going to say it is closer to the second image, but if it's closer to the first, you still need to do fine calibration, because fine calibration just really gets it super close. So we're going to do a basic calibration because this is what our square looks like. Okay? This is what it looks like. So we're going to go to continue. Now what it's going to do, and we'll go to our Cricut, it is cutting the lines which are numbered 1 through 21 on the top, and then it's going to cut the lines which are lettered A through U on the side. And then After that has finished cutting, we will hop back over to share screen and I will show you guys what to select. Now that that is done, and I know you guys can't see, but you're going to come over here and you are going to select which one of these numbers, 1 through 21, cuts perfectly down the center of the black line. So we're looking at number 7 here. If I'm being honest with you all, I'm still not completely happy with number 7. But once again, we're just doing a basic calibration. We're not doing a fine calibration. So we're going to choose 7 from the top, and then from the one on the side, I'm going to choose H. So back to our share screen. Top line, we're going to choose 7. Right line, we're going to choose the letter H. Okay? Now we're going to continue. And the basic calibration is complete. So what we're going to do, we're going to unload that. We are going to print this again, because now I want to do a fine calibration. Let's go ahead. You can see how off that was.
Wow.
Like, that's how off the cut was.
Yeah.
Yes, calibration is really, really easy.
Oh,
no
yeah.
need for anyone to be scared to calibrate. It's super, super easy. So now I'm going to grab our calibration sheet to do
Grabbing
fine.
the other sheet, and this is so fun.
Putting this down. So one thing that I would suggest to you guys, don't just stop at basic calibration.
Yeah.
I would make sure and do a fine calibration to make sure it's perfect. We are connecting to our Explorer that we have here. Somebody asked, do you have to calibrate different printers if you use Canon then switch to Epson? So if you use different printers for different print and cut things, printers are just like different machines. They might print different.
Right.
I mean, you can calibrate in Cricut from each printer if you feel more comfortable. If you decide, hey, I'm printing from my Epson, it's cutting beautifully, but when I print from my Canon, it's still, for some reason, it's not right. Try calibration printing from your Canon.
I don't think that'll happen too often.
I don't think so either.
Let's talk about why you need to calibrate. So as you move your machine around, things can get moved, like combobulated is what I like to call it. So if you are someone that travels with their Cricut, if you move it from the table to the floor all the way around, sometimes the machine just needs to be calibrated. So that's just the best way to describe it. If you leave it where, in one spot for a long time, I doubt you'll need to calibrate it as often.
Yeah. Also, we had somebody said that they got aggravated with the calibration that they gave up. There's no need to give up, y'all. It's so easy. I really hope that this will help you and walk you step by step through calibration so that you do feel more confident with it.
Yeah.
And then somebody asked, how do you do fine calibration? Fine calibration is the exact same as basic calibration. It just kind of takes it a little further and gets even more precise.
So if I use Wi-Fi for my maker, but my printer is attached to a desktop, does this process still work the same? For calibration, yes. Mm-hmm. Yep.
So we're going to proceed to fine calibration because it did cut pretty close.
Oh, cool.
And then we're just going to let it list. It's doing the exact same thing it did.
And Lauren's doing this for the whole team. I mean, she's taking one for the team so that print and cut is going to look good with this Explorer 3 every time we use it.
Yeah, April did have a good point. If calibrating your machine is not this easy, then it might be something that's messed up on your machine that you need to contact Cricut over.
Yeah.
Because calibration should not be hard. So now, once again, we're going to come back over here and fine calibration. It's looking like 11 and K.
Ooh.
Yep, it's not 7 and H anymore. It is, oh, I don't know, or is it 10? Ooh, I can't tell. I'm going with 11. 11. So top line, we're going with 11. Right line, we're going with K. And then it's going to cut the bigger piece. That's going to be the biggest difference with fine calibration. And honestly, I can't even see where it cut because it cut so close to that black line.
That's awesome.
So now the fine calibration, it printed the larger box. That's what that's there for. and you will now either select yes, it cut close, or no, I'd like to do another calibration. So of course I'm going to click yes and continue, and you are done with calibration. And then there you go. That is, you can see that it is now calibrated beautifully. And then let's unload this real quick, and then I'll come over for questions.
Yay, what a fun show today. This one's going down in the books because this has been such a fun show.
A hoot and a half, man.
An hour and 40 minutes, Lauren. You were on it. How about it? Welcome back to the corner.
So over the years, we have experimented with so many different types of printable vinyl, sticker paper, you name it. And we feel like we have come to a head, and we know exactly the best way for you all to make labels with your Cricut. Not only are you making beautiful labels, but we're going to make those waterproof today. So I'm going to be showing you all a really fun hack on how to make your stickers truly waterproof. I've also got a couple other tricks up my sleeve using some of the Maker's Gonna Learn files. So if you all are ready to get started, let's jump right into it. So you're not gonna need too many materials for the project today. I want to talk to you all though about which products are going to work best for exactly what you need. So we're going to be designing some labels that you're probably going to generally want to be waterproof, things such as soap, detergent, lotion, things that may get product on them that we don't necessarily want the ink to bleed. So we've experimented, like I said, we've experimented with a few different kinds, and I want to show you all which ones are our favorite. So as you can see here, we've made this beautiful label. These are available on the Maker's Gonna Learn website. I'm gonna show you all how to customize them completely so you can adjust them to whatever you need. But this is totally waterproof, and I'm gonna give you all a few different options depending on your needs and what's gonna work best for you. So you're just gonna need whatever you're gonna be applying your label to. I've got some rubbing alcohol to clean my surface, a brayer I like to have on hand when I'm making stickers just in general. And then I've obviously got a mat under here. Now you can use a light grip mat, standard grip. Either one of those is gonna work. I like light grip mat when I'm working with paper products. It just works better for me. And then right in front of me, I have 3 different types of sticker paper. So let's go ahead and talk about these 2 right here. These are ones that we use a lot here at Maker's Gonna Learn. The brand is Zicoto, and they are available on Amazon, and I've linked them below for you all. So if you see that you like these a lot more, you are gonna be able to use these. They come in a glossy and a matte. The matte is beautiful. Like, I really, really love the vibe of the matte. It's great for items that are probably gonna go in your pantry, like if you wanted to make labels for your flour or your oatmeal or something like that. If you really like the look of matte, I'm gonna show you all a little hack on how to make your stickers matte as well as waterproof in this video, which is gonna be my favorite thing to show you all because I really, truly love the look of a matte label or a matte sticker. I just think it looks rich, it looks good. But you know, everyone has their personal preferences, and I do have a glossy option as well. These look beautiful. I actually put a glossy one on this. So this is like my second favorite option as in terms of waterproofness, but they work really great for labels all across the board, not just waterproof stickers. So I'm gonna be showing you how to use those. And then another brand that we really, really love for sticker paper is the HTV Ront Printable Vinyl Sticker Paper. So this one is for inkjet and laser printers, and it is glossy white. We love this one. And then the last material that I have, and this is my favorite hack for when we are creating waterproof stickers. This is the matte UV laminate for inkjet printable adhesive vinyl. So it's a mouthful, but these are so handy to have because a lot of times the things that we're labeling are household items. They could be cleaners, things like that. So this is gonna be super handy in making our labels look super high end as if we bought them from the store, but we really made them ourselves. So Other than all of this stuff, you're just gonna need an inkjet printer. So I've got our Canon Pixma inkjet printer here. The Canon TS9500 is also another favorite here in the studio. I've got some paper towels to have on hand just in case. And then obviously I have our Cricut over here. So we're gonna go ahead and jump into Design Space and start designing the labels that we want. And then we're gonna dive a little bit deeper into the materials and how to use them afterwards. So over here in Design Space, you can see I have already pulled in the files that we're going to be using off of the Maker's Gonna Learn website. So the first one is one of our pre-made ones. So you'll see on makersgonnalearn.com, we have different options such as hand lotion, detergent, different things like that. You can go ahead and just pull those in and print them off, which makes it super, super easy for you all. I want to say that I call it a hack because it's so easy and it really just takes out all of the work, and you're going to be able to label all of your items a lot quicker. And then we also have this option right here where you can pick a font. It can be any word. If you have soap or lotion or whatever you want to put can go here. And then we have the totally blank option. So you can fill this in with any fonts that you prefer. Maybe the fonts that we chose aren't your taste. That's totally fine. Maker's Gonna Learn offers thousands of fonts for you all to choose from. So you're gonna have lots of options here. So let's go ahead and plug in what we want on each of these labels. I'm just gonna leave this one here and we'll print it out just so I can show you all what the already made ones are gonna look like. And then I think what we need to do is go ahead and pick out a font for this one and this one. So let's go on over to the Maker's Gonna Learn website and do that now. So once you're on the font page, obviously we have thousands of fonts for you all to use, lots of different vibes. I love this Groovy Cowgirl. So y'all just browse through, find a font that you think is gonna work best for you. Let's go ahead and use Little Lovey today. I think this will be perfect for what we're doing. I'm going to double click the zip folder and it's gonna pull it over here, and then we can just select install. We're gonna also need a script font. So now that we've got Little Lovey downloaded, I want to add a script with this, and I've already got a font in mind. It's called Betty B. This is a Maker's Gonna Learn font. I am obsessed with this font. I'm gonna use this for my script portion right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and type this out. Now, I don't know that this is a font that I would actually cut if I was doing vinyl, but it works beautifully whenever we are wanting to use it for printing purposes. So I'm just gonna kind of shrink this down. And this really is just to fit the aesthetic of what we're going for. I'm gonna zoom in here so you all can see better. Okay. And now we can go ahead and type in what we want right here. So I'm gonna type in hand soap. And you can see, obviously it's way too big. I'm gonna change it to our Little Lovey font that we downloaded. And then I'm just going to shrink this down. So I changed it to all caps. I'm gonna space my letters out just a hair because I feel like adding some space in between the letters kind of elevates this project. So I'm just putting a little bit of space in between. I did 2-point space in between the letters. I think that looks super cute. I love it. I am gonna make sure these are solid black. Now you could change the colors to whatever your heart desires for this portion. I really like the look of the black and white labels. I just think it looks super sleek. So I'm gonna stick with that. And then I want to go ahead and add in premium quality and hand poured. And I'm going to use this Lovey font for this portion as well. So I'm just going to duplicate this. And I'm going to add a dash, hand poured, and another dash. And then you can shrink it down. And I'm going to zoom in so we can really see what we're doing here. And then up here, you can see this curve option. I'm just gonna drag this barely. And I'm gonna shrink this down, and y'all can piddle around and get it to exactly where you want it. I'm actually gonna add a little bit more letter spacing here and see how I feel about that. Oh yeah, I think that that looks really good. So I'm gonna leave that there. And then I'm going to select this and duplicate it again, and we're going to add in premium and quality at the bottom here. And I'm changing the letter spacing to 4 again. I'm going to duplicate this. And like I said at the beginning of the video, you can totally just use the ones that we already have, but if your decor is a little bit of a different vibe, or if you prefer certain fonts, feel free to design your own. I feel like that's the beauty in having a Cricut. You're going to be able to customize everything that you make. So I'm selecting both of those, and I am going to align it vertically. This is going to make them perfectly in line with each other. And then if you wanted to, you can select these text boxes. I'm going to select this one, the hand soap, and the hand poured. I'm just holding down the shift key and clicking on each text box. And I'm going to go to align and center horizontally, and that's going to make them perfectly centered. So I really like how this looks, but we can't just go ahead and print this off and cut it and all that. We've got a couple steps in between. So now that I've designed it exactly how I want it, what I'm going to do is click and drag, and I'm going to flatten my image. This is going to turn my SVG image into a printable image. Now I'm going to undo it because I want to show you all where you can really see that it changes. So if I selected hand soap, right now up here in the operations drop down menu, you can see that it says basic cut. So if I went to cut this, it's going to cut out every single individual letter, and we do not want that. So in order to prevent that from happening, I'm just going to make sure everything in my image is selected together, and I'm going to flatten that image. And now you can see that we've got it on one solid layer, and its function is print then cut. So this one is ready to go. If I wanted to go ahead and plug something in over here, I totally could. And then I would just do the same thing. Select the entire image, flatten it, and then we're going to print it and cut it. Now these images right here that are already on the Makers Gonna Learn website, these will download as PNGs. So if it comes in and you download it as a PNG, it's already going to be a printable image. So if you wanted to double check whenever you pull it into Design Space, you can always click and drag and make sure that it says print and cut up here, or it says print and then cut in the layers panel. That's how you know that it is ready to be printed and then cut with your Cricut. So before I actually cut this with the Cricut, I want to make sure that I'm measuring everything correctly. So I'm going to measure the area that I want to put my sticker. So I'm just going to make sure that it's not too big. And I think if we put it about 3 by no bigger than 3.5, that's going to be perfect for us. So back in Design Space, we can make sure that our image, when we click on it, is no bigger than 3 by 3.5. So right now we're at 2.5 by 3, and I think that's actually going to be perfect. So we'll stick with that, and we're going to go ahead and make it. So we're going to send to printer, turn the bleed off, and we are using the system dialog. This is my favorite way to print. I'm going to select print, and we are going to be using the rear tray. Whenever I use thicker materials like sticker paper or heavy cardstock, I love to use the rear tray so that my paper does not get jammed. Now, if you don't have a rear tray feed, that's totally fine. Sticker paper usually works fine with the inkjet printers just through the normal tray, but I prefer the rear tray. I always select best, so we're getting the best quality print every time. And I'm going to go ahead and send this to the printer. So I could technically print this on any of these vinyl sticker sheets. So let's just, for the sake of me showing you all the difference between glossy versus matte, I'm going to print this on the HT Ront Glossy. Just going to pull one sheet of this out. Okay. And I'm going to print this first, and then we're going to apply our matte laminate sheet on top of it. So I've got my printed out sheet here. What I'm going to do before I cut this, so I'm going to go ahead and clean the surface of my bottle. I'm going to let that dry while the Cricut is cutting. We want to make sure there's no oils or residue from our hands on the glass surface. That way it sticks really well. And then we can go ahead and put our sticker paper onto our mat. And I really like to use the brayer for this because I don't want to drag it over top of the sticker paper. I just want it to go smoothly. So the brayer is perfect for this. Now we have one more step before we put this through the Cricut, and that's to apply our matte laminate sheet. So I have the StarCraft Matte UV Laminate Inkjet Printable Adhesive Vinyl. Long word, great product, and I'm just gonna pull out a sheet of this, and you know what? I can see already that we have cut this up because we've probably done this for prior projects, and I'm just gonna use a piece of this to put over my print and then cut area. So like you can see, I don't even need this full area. So I'm just gonna trim off what I don't need, and really that's still giving us a little bit of wiggle room. I'm gonna pull this off, and I'm gonna lay this down using the taco method. So I'm gonna turn it sideways. I'm gonna bend right here in the middle and then lay it down that way. Okay, and once that's down, I'm just gonna bray over top of it. And then let's go back in Design Space and pick our cut settings. Okay, so it's gonna say set base material. We're going to browse all materials, and I'm just gonna type in sticker. There's a few different sticker paper options. For today's video, we're gonna be using the Printable sticker paper in white. I'll select done, and we are going to apply more pressure. Now, if you were just printing labels without the laminate on top of them, you would stick with a default pressure. But since we have the laminate sheet on top of our printable vinyl, I'm gonna select more pressure. That way we get all the way through and it cuts nice and clean. We're using a fine point blade today, and we can go ahead and load our mat in the Cricut. So before I remove this from the mat, I like to make sure that it cut all the way through, and I'm just taking a weeding tool, and you can see it's very obviously came up off of the backer. So I'm gonna go ahead and unload this from the Cricut. I'm gonna flip this over and remove it from the mat. And then we can really, we can remove this completely like this. And normally, you all, I would print a bunch of labels at once. Like, I would recommend doing these in bulk. I just wanted to give you all the visual of just having one. I didn't want to overwhelm with too many designs. So this is just our one sticker. I'm going to pull this off. And then we obviously have our sticker right here. And it feels so thick and so good. And what I'm going to do is lay a burnishing tool right here. And I'm gonna lay our little bottle that we've already cleaned and is dried, and we can apply this to the front of our bottle. Now you can kind of do the taco method here to make sure it's completely smoothed out. And then if you want to, you can even take your burnishing tool and go on top of it to make sure it is really down. One last thing I want to do is take this to the sink and see if it runs when we put the water on top of it. So as you can see, it is super, super waterproof. And even before this video, I really wanted to test out which sticker papers work the best for me. So I've got a little bit of different examples here, and the paper looks crazy because I literally ran these underwater testing them. So the first one I did was the HTV Ront just by itself. So this is the same sticker paper that we just made the label with, except I ran water over it. There's no laminate sheet on top of this one though. So you can see pretty good. This one got it the worst. It's just kind of bled and like doesn't look that great. So I wouldn't recommend just putting the HTV Ront on there willy-nilly. I feel like it needs that laminate sheet to protect it from the water. This was the Zicoto matte without anything on top of it. This is just the Zicoto matte printed. And really, it was not that bad. I had a little slip up right here and a couple maybe right here, but it wasn't terrible. And these labels are so good. The sticker paper just feels such good quality. These are going to be great for when you're labeling things in your pantry, like crackers and chips and oats and things like that, because they're not really coming into contact with any wet surfaces. I love the results of the matte, so I thought, you know what, if I really truly want to make this extremely waterproof, I can put that UV laminate on top of it. And so that's what I did here. I did run water over this, and these look phenomenal. The matte paper prints really well. I would honestly say the matte prints better quality than the glossy sticker paper prints. But as far as waterproofing goes, the laminate sheet came through on the matte paper as well as the glossy paper. So we really, really love using that UV laminate for when we're waterproofing our stickers. And then this is the Zicoto glossy paper, and it did really well. It did significantly better than the HTV Ront glossy paper on its own. I did run this one under the water as well, and I had pretty good results. So what I want to know now is, which one was your favorite? Which technique do you feel like is foolproof? For me, it's going to be using the matte sticker paper with the laminate on top. I just feel like that's going to give me the best results every single time. If you all love this print and cut project, make sure to check out our channel. We have tons of material covering print and cut with your Cricut. We would love to teach you all a little bit more and share all of our knowledge with you. Here at Makers Gonna Learn, we really love to share inspiration, motivation, and education. And if you didn't know, we are a membership-based crafting community. So we would love for you all to be a part of that community with us. If you're interested in membership, we've dropped a link below for you, and you can also just hit the subscribe button. So every time that we post, you will be notified. We will see you all in the next video. Bye.
Alicia, what are we covering?
Okay, this is like, so we have lots of videos on our channel that got a lot of traction, lots of views, but they're a little bit outdated. Yeah. And so what we've done is virtually went back and found all that old content, and we're like, let's make it as updated as we can for you guys. This is one of the most viewed videos that we have on our channel, and it is the car decals. Yes. So what we've done, we're gonna show you 2 different ways today: how to waterproof printable vinyl, and how to just cut like a standard car decal out of adhesive vinyl. Yeah. So, and I'm going to give you tips on like the best vinyl to use and the best way to waterproof it and stuff like that. So, yeah. It's going to be really good. The product that you have here on the table, I've actually done, I did Courtney a shampoo, a body wash, and a conditioner bottle. Yeah. And I used this product today from StarCraft. So this has been tested, not only tested, but used for almost a year and a half inside of my own shower. Yeah. And it's holding strong. That's amazing. Yeah, it's awesome. There's a whole like recorded video on the channel. It's about like waterproofing decals like 3 ways or something. Yes. But like Alicia said, the software shifted. There's new design space like restrictions like taken away, so you can do better, larger print and cut. Yes, big print and cut. So now you can do that on your car. You can do it in so many different ways. Right. Car decals for a lot of people are scary. Yes. So we just want to take that away, because you're making a decal. Yeah, it's very easy. Actually, probably one of the easiest Cricut crafts. Yeah. I would argue that, if not the easiest. I just think people see them and they think that it's going to be difficult, but it's really, if you have the right materials, it's really not. Yes. Now, a lot of people like doing big wall decals can be challenging, or doing like hours of operation and like logos on the car, things like that. That can be daunting, but here's what I want to say to you, because I see a lot of you that are chatting about, oh my gosh, I want to do this for my business. I want to encourage you to do it. And here's what I want to say. As someone that has done door decals, things like that, you want to say yes to the order, okay? Do 1 or 2, maybe just for free to get comfortable. And here's what I want to offer you. What do you have to lose? So you may say, Dana, I'm nervous. Like, what if it's Cricut? What are you gonna do? Alicia, what would you do? Take it off and do it again. Do it again. So I want to offer that to you today, that if you want to add something new to your offering,
this would be a really affordable one, and you'll perfect your skill. It does not take too long to learn how to position door decals.
And I think what the dilemma for people with car decals is the application process.
Yes,
I
for
think
sure.
it's making sure it's straight, making sure the surface is clean,
Yep.
and those are the more daunting. That's the more daunting part of it.
100%.
But just it's removable. It's
Yes.
just sticker paper. It's not that serious. Like you can take it off and make a new one. It's totally fine.
So good. So we've had some questions.
So that's what we want to talk about today. And I've got all of the things here. If we go overhead. So I want to show you all how to make just like a basic Cricut decal. This is going to be super, super easy. If you are an experienced Cricketer, you're probably going to be like, that's super easy. But I want to show you all and give you some tips on things that I like to use when we're just doing basic vinyl cut decals. And then my other thing I want to talk about today are print then cut car decals. So you all know, if you've been here for any amount of time, that we love the Zicoto brand sticker paper. This is the matte, which I think prints the best. It prints better than the glossy, in my opinion.
I love this brand.
Yeah, Zicoto sticker paper is bomb.com. And the matte, I prefer the matte. I don't know if you have noticed the difference between glossy or matte, but for me, the black, if you have a design with black in it, the matte paper just absorbs the pigment and the ink really well. And so that's why I love this vinyl matte paper. And then this is the star of the show. This is the update. So previously, I don't know that we had used this on the car decal video previously, but I want to say that this is going to be the ticket for your print then cut car decals, because this is a UV laminate sheet. So these are clear. Let me take one out and I'll show you. This is basically like putting a clear film over your decal. So I'm just going to pull this edge up. Well, maybe if I can get it. So, and it's also like a matte finish, which I am a sucker for a matte finish. So this is what is going to go over your sticker. And then I've got a sticker right here. This one has the laminate over top of it. This feels such good quality. This feels like I bought it at like REI. Like it feels like one of those fancy Patagonia stickers. Am I the only one who knows what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
the fancy like water bottle stickers you can buy.
Because here's the deal. When you're at REI or, Nashville, Asheville, wherever you're going, you're paying $5 to $6 for those stickers. And I would argue that a lot of us worry, just to talk about, I love teaching people about selling their crafts.
Yes.
And I want to offer that, I happily pay $5 and $6.
Me too.
For a good sticker.
Me too.
So
Me too.
for our friends out here that's like, I can't charge more than $1 for a sticker, I want to offer you that people will happily order from you. And the thought you have about your customer is very important. And I want you to monitor your relationship with the identity of your customer, because you need to think positively around your customer.
I agree with that.
You need to know that they want to spend money with you because they love supporting you and getting the result. And I think the sticker, I'm a crafter, I could make that sticker. You're a crafter and you can make that sticker, but we happily give our funds to get a ready-made sticker that we just put on our water bottles and enjoy.
If you can get it in the right place and you've got your right demographic and you're selling, if you have a bicycle shop up the road and you live near the beach, like this is perfect. You just find what works for you and like don't undersell yourself either. So anyways, I've got all this stuff here. You're going to need some basic Cricut tools. We're going to be using a standard grip mat. I've got a brayer, which I like to use for my print then cuts. Even when I'm not making stickers, brayer is great for print then cut so your ink doesn't ever smudge. I've got a burnishing tool, an X-Acto knife, a measuring tape, and then some scissors. And I also like to keep rubbing alcohol around for my application process. So we really like to clean our surfaces really well. These little alcohol pumps are from the Dollar Tree, and we just put rubbing alcohol in them and we clean all of our surfaces before we apply vinyl with these. So this is like one of our oldest hacks. I don't know if you want to call it a hack. But yeah, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna pull up Design Space really quick. And I've already pulled my PNG, so let's just start there. And I want to start from the top. So if you're like, what the heck? How did you get to where we're at now? Let's go ahead and hop over to the Makers Gonna Learn website. and I've already got our new, so these are our newest images that I think these came out like earlier this week, or maybe at the end of last week. Lots of really fun like disc golf files, which my dad and husband and brother-in-law are disc golfers.
Did you know I love disc golf?
Do you?
I played a lot before I had kids.
Okay.
It was the way I pitch people on it is it's like hiking.
Bless
Excuse
you.
me, I should have took that allergy medication.
I know.
It's like hiking, but you get to be outside longer.
Yes.
I love it.
It's like
fun.
it's like pepped up hiking. Yeah, it's really fun. So lots of really fun and cute disc golf. We've got Mardi Gras stuff in here. These surf and sand files are like a vibe for me. I really love the colors. And the perk of using PNGs and doing a printable image is that you're going to get a lot more color, opposed to if you're doing a vinyl decal, you can always layer different colored vinyls. But if you've got an inkjet printer, you can just print these out and the color is already there. You're not having to fiddle with like layering your vinyls and things like that. So lots of different options. So, okay, so let's just download this file. I'm just gonna show you all how this works. So if we wanted this file right here, you're gonna go ahead and select the little button. It'll pop down into a zip folder. If for some reason you can't find it, go to your Finder or your search bar and type in the name of the file, or go to your recent downloads and it should be there. And then you can see right here, it is a PNG. So it'll have the file name .png. And then what you're gonna do, leave it like it is, pull up Cricut, and you're gonna go to your uploads. So I selected upload. I'm gonna upload my image, and I like to drag and drop my images. So I'm just gonna go back to my Finder, go find your file on your computer, and you can just drag and drop this into your uploads. Now with PNGs, I always use complex. That's just what I like to use. And then you can select apply and continue. If we select cut image, it's just gonna give us this circle. So make sure you select print, then cut image, and we're gonna go ahead and upload that. And then we can select it and add it to our canvas, and voila.
Look at you. Oh, everybody's loving these stickers. When did these come out?
I think this week or last week. It was like the beginning of this week or last week.
I'm digging this.
Me too. They're so cute.
They're sticker readies. And remember, if you're a member, you can use these for your business and sell them.
Yeah,
like,
which is amazing. These would be so cute in a little surf shop. So anyways, that's how you pull an image in. I did the same exact process with this image right here, and I'm gonna use this arched image because I just think it's so stinking cute. And then basically, when you pull a PNG in, typically they're gonna come in flattened. If for some reason you get a PNG from elsewhere, like not from Maker's Gonna Learn, make sure that all of your layers are flattened. Now, if you're using our files, they're gonna be flattened because we're just picky like that. But sometimes, so a lot of our PNGs are, well, all of them, they're hand drawn. So sometimes whenever you pull in PNGs, and I wish I could show you all an example of this, there will be like little tiny, like on this one, let me see if y'all can see this. Sadie, tell me if this is in focus right here. Can you all see this? I just want to show this to you. So, can you guys see right here? There's a little cut. Okay, sometimes on hand-drawn images, mainly because it's like an illustration, it's not like an SVG where there are definite lines, there may be tiny, tiny little gaps. And on this particular PNG, there is. So if you go to cut this out, it will try to cut right there where I showed you all. It'll try to cut just a little nick there and a little nick there. It's just the tiniest. You can't even hardly see it, you guys. But if you want to avoid that, what I like to do before we go to print this is add the smallest offset ever. So I'm just going to add an offset of like 0.01. You literally can't even see it. Now, if you're like, you can see, let me zoom in. You can see that there's like a very vague black outline on this. You see that? I'm just going to change the offset color to like orange. So if it does show, it matches. And then you want to make sure to flatten your offset with your image. So I'm going to go ahead and flatten that. And then what we want to do is measure the surface we're putting it on. So I typically do not like my car decals to be bigger than like 5 to 7 inches. You don't want it too small because you can't see it, but you don't want it gigantic unless you are doing something like the Bell Property Management sticker on the back of Tanner's work truck. Like that one's huge because you're advertising something.
Right.
But if you're doing like a cute little beach bum bumper sticker, I think a 5 to 7 inch range is like really good. So, and you'll learn like what you prefer and what your customers like the most, but 5 to 7 is a good place to land.
Yeah.
So this one is 5 high by 3.7 wide. That's perfect. So everything is flattened. That's key when you're doing print and cut. And what we're going to do now is select Make It. So you don't need to mirror your image or anything like that. We're just going to go ahead and select Continue. Now, if you have not been around to do print and cut, thank you, Shirley. She says she likes my shirt. I've been wearing banties on the lives. It's not planned. It's just, I just wear these shirts all the time. I did not make this. This is from Walmart men's section, if you didn't know. So, anyways, if you all have not been around recently, like messing with print and cut features, they have updated their print and cut. So it looks different off the bat. We've got these 4 corners in here. You can see, you can pull this all the way up to the top and all the way to the sides, which you could not do before. You can change your material size.
Love it.
11 by 17.
Look at that.
11 by 17. Now, whoever decides to come out with 11 by 17 sticker paper is going to be rolling in the dough.
We're going to be giving all our money to them.
We're going to be paying you a lot of money. So, like,
Yes.
if you are a sticker maker, keep your eyes out, because I know that people that make products like this, I just guarantee 143 vinyls on top of this.
Yeah.
I feel like they're probably like, we need to be making 11 by 17 sticker paper. Now, there
Yes.
is sublimation paper. This is great for people who sublimate, because before you couldn't make.
Oh my gosh.
You couldn't do
this
it.
This changes my sublimation game.
Yeah, before we had like a workaround and we could do it, but you couldn't do it nearly as easy before. So anyways, we're going to stick with 8.5 by 11. I'm just going to kind of nestle that in the corner. And then we're going to go ahead and select Continue. Now, I need to print this, so I'm going to send to my printer. I'm going to keep the bleed on. So the bleed virtually extends the outer color out a little bit. So if my calibration isn't exact, I know that that color is going to go all the way to my edge, and it's not going to show any white around my sticker.
Right.
Typically, I don't leave the bleed on for everything, but for this instance, I'm going to. And then I'm also going to use my system dialog, and we're going to select Print. If you're using a Mac, your dialog box is not going to pop up. So you need to pull your screen down, and then your dialog box is here. It was just hiding from you. I think Windows, it just pops up. And then we're going to feed this from the rear tray because sticker paper is a little bit thicker. And if you have a rear tray, it helps it to feed through the printer a lot better. And always print best. Always print best quality. Okay, that is printing. Okay. Now, while it's printing, I want to show you all what I like to do for this type of sticker in Cricut Design Space. So before I was cutting it on glitter cardstock, but I'm going to go to Browse All Materials. If you guys have stepped away, I want you to come back.
Yes.
This is something that can be very helpful to all Cricut users, and a lot of people don't realize they can do this, and that's why I like to share this little hack. So before I was cutting it on glitter cardstock, that is my go-to setting for anything that is super thick that needs multiple passes. So glitter cardstock, if we select that, let's see, hold on one second. Let's go to material settings. Okay, so I'm gonna go out of here. What you're gonna do is browse on materials, go to material settings, and I want you to scroll down to glitter cardstock. Where is she? Here we go. Okay, so glitter cardstock, it's cutting with a pressure of 270 and you're getting 2 passes. I want those same settings, but I want to make myself a laminate sticker setting. Like I don't want to click glitter cardstock. I make a lot of stickers for cars, so I want to be able to click on laminate sticker setting and then be able to have like my own setting for this type of sticker.
Right.
So what I'm going to do is remember those settings. I'm going to scroll all the way down to the bottom, and we're going to add a new material. So let's call this laminate stickers, and I've already made one, so it may not let me do. Okay, and then I'm going to select save, and it's gonna pull us up here, and look, you can see where I made my first one, but you can adjust the pressure. So I'm gonna adjust it to 270 because I know this cut setting works. I know this works. And then you can also adjust how many passes it does. I'm gonna do 2 passes, and then you can save it. And now, whenever we go out of this, I can browse on materials and I can type in laminate stickers, and y'all, you can name it whatever you want. And there's my cut setting. I'm gonna hit done, and this should cut exactly the way that the glitter cardstock cut, except this is like my special setting. And if you find that you need to adjust the pressures or anything like that, you can. I'm not gonna do more pressure on this. It should be enough. 270 is like tipping the bar. Like we're going to the maximum there. So let me go grab the paper. I'll be right back.
Yes, so she is getting that all good to go. I mean, look at how easy it is to really print and cut. Like a lot of people get really nervous about like integrating their printer with their Cricut, but I want to encourage you, it's a game changer. It's gonna make your project so good.
Yes. So you can see how gorgeous these colors are. Let me grab our mat really quick. So the colors printed so good, and I swear it's because we're using this matte UV laminate, or this matte sticker paper. It's so good. And so I'm just gonna place this on the top left corner. I like to make sure my print and cuts are perfectly lined up. And we're gonna roll with our brayer over top of this. The brayer is really good to make sure this is secured down. And then before we cut it, we're gonna add our special ingredient. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull a sheet of this out. Now, it does not recommend that you try to do a full sheet on here. So we're gonna cut out just enough to cover our design. So we're just gonna cut this out with some scissors. And this does not affect the print and cut feature. Adding this over top of our image, it does not affect it at all. I think when I first did this, I was like, ooh, I don't know if it's gonna work. And it was totally fine. And you can save these. I save all of our little scraps.
For sure.
So now this part, this is the part where I try to avoid as many bubbles as possible. So I'm gonna flip this over, and we're just gonna fold. We're gonna fold like an inch or so back from our backer.
Look at you go.
So I'm just gonna fold this back just a little bit, okay? So it looks like this. Let me show you close up. So I've just folded this back, okay? What I'm gonna do next is line this up to the top of my sheet of my print and cut, okay? And then keep your burnishing tool on hand. And I'm going to basically, I'm gonna flip this over, and I'm gonna use my burnishing tool to flatten it as it goes, okay? So you're not gonna be able to see my burnishing tool as we do it.
So if anyone's asking, you know, we're go cut at laminate stickers, but if you're not using the, like what she's applying right now, that laminate protector, you would use just like printable vinyl setting is my favorite. You could use like for magnet sheets, you're like, oh my gosh, what setting? There's a magnet sheet setting, you know, anything like that. So anyone new here and you are hanging out with us today, I do want to let y'all know it's the last day to save $30 off our Flash 30 promo for President's Day. It was a little extended sale from the holiday, but today's the last day. So
it's the last one.
It's all, it's a really good deal for annual membership. If you're ready to go all in on yourself, get 1,000 cut files a month, and access to our entire library of training, cut files, fonts, community.
Yeah, and we like to talk to you guys, like in the Facebook group, like we can all be friends, you know? Okay, so I want y'all to see, I mean, 10 out of 10. There's no bubbles. There's none. So, okay, now what we need to do is load this into our Cricut. Okay, just loading this in. And we've already selected our settings in Design Space. And we're just using default pressure, and usually this works for me. Now, if this is your very first time making stickers, don't be scared to adjust your settings because some Cricuts are a little bit different. So the settings that I'm using may not work for your machine, and that's normal. Just know that's normal and don't get frustrated. Just go back into your material settings and adjust it if you need more pressure or less pressure or whatever you need. And that way you can get a good cut every single time. And then I'm just gonna hit go. And it's gonna read my registration box, and then it will cut out my sticker.
Look at you go. And this is honestly the best way. I would argue like you get the best of both worlds here.
Yes.
I think for a lot of you that want to be really like intentional and making sure you're doing the best, this is the best.
Oh, for
like,
sure.
the best way that we can, because you know your Makers Learn team is like weighing the pros and cons of like being overly like protective and like making sure you create the best result,
Right.
and like being realistic with like what looks good.
Right.
This is what's gonna look best.
I feel like this gives it such a clean finish, like having this laminate. And I wish that y'all could reach through the screen and touch this sticker because it feels so good. I'm not going to remove it yet. That I never remove anything until I make sure that it's cut all the way through. So let's pull this up. This is a sticky standard grit mat.
It is.
Praise. I love when that happens. Okay. Oh, like butter. Okay, we're gonna remove that. Okay. I'm just gonna pull this away and look. That is gorgeous. Okay, whenever you pull this off, flip it over. We don't want to be curling our stickers, so we like to go with gravity. We're just going to remove this from the backer. And look, y'all, that's perfect.
That's it?
That's
Look
it.
at that.
That's it. This is
Ooh.
it for print and cut decals. I mean, that's all it takes, y'all. Like, that's it. So, and this just looks so good. I just wish y'all could touch it. It just feels really good quality. So, this UV laminate is very, I mean, it even says, it'll say on the packaging, it says, specially formulated to repel dirt, water, and adhesives. It says, this means the use of transfer tape may be difficult or even impossible. So this is covered, like your sticker is covered. It does say if your design has small parts that are separated, it may complicate the application. So make sure if you are doing decals, like with print and cut images, that you are adding an offset. If there are lots of tiny details, I would recommend an offset around the entire thing.
Yeah, and to make a really easy sticker, you want to have an offset. Like you want your shape to be something similar to like what Alicia did, like squares, rectangles.
Like an organic shape that isn't like super sharp and like pointy and all of that.
This is okay to put on a car. Yes, it is okay to put on a car, and it is removable. Do you need to add an overlay so that it protects past the edge of your sticker?
Okay, that's a good question, Melissa. So you all totally can do that. If you feel the need to add a small like offset around this with so that the clear goes a little bit bigger than the sticker, I would recommend like a 0.05 offset, but you're going to need to cut your clear laminate separately from your sticker. So you can't cut them at the same time with the offset, if that makes sense.
Right.
So you would have to cut them at separate times, which makes the application process a little bit more tricky. That's why I do it this way. But if you feel like you need to do that, you can. Honestly, I feel like this is going to be pretty foolproof for you guys.
Yes.
If for some reason you try and it's not, let me know. Let me know.
Right.
I feel like this is going to work for you, though.
It's going to be really, really good.
Yeah.
It's going to be really good.
So that's it for those. Also, I don't recommend putting these directly on your car. I would recommend putting them on your window.
Yeah,
Okay.
I love it.
So now that we've got our PNGs out of the way, let's just do like a monogram. I think a monogram is very popular always.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna do a simple monogram decal, and I'm hoping that let's do a name. Let's do like Sadie.
Sadie.
Like Sadie's car.
Love
you know when
it.
people put like Sadie on her side and Shane on his side?
I did not
like
know.
His and hers.
Yeah.
Sadie's not into that, I can tell. Okay, so if someone wanted to do like their name or Sadie's car, let's do that. So everyone knows, Sadie just got a new car also. That's very cute. It's very
We love
nice.
it. We love it.
And then I'm just gonna go ahead and pick my font. Now I do recommend doing something thicker. You don't wanna do anything super dainty for this. One, because it's not gonna be legible. And two, like it's gonna be, I don't know, you just wanna be able to see it when you're driving. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You don't want anything super thin. So let's just find a good chunky font. Oh, that's cute. Okay, Sadie would never put this on her car, but we're gonna go because this is a good chunky font. I feel like this would work just fine. And so, like I was saying earlier, you want to pay attention to the width and the height. Right now we're like almost an inch high, but the width is like 6.3. We could make this, we could just make this a solid 7 in width. I like that size. Okay, we're gonna be cutting this in purple vinyl. You don't have to change it to purple, but I like to get a visual.
Yes.
I'm gonna go ahead and hide our old image. And then what you're gonna do next is just go to make it. And then, so we've got our little cutout right here. Now you all can tell if this got any smaller, I don't know how well it would cut on our adhesive vinyl. So adhesive vinyl, it tends to not like smaller intricate details. It's not as good as with that as HTV typically is. So we're just going to settle with that. I've got my standard grip mat here. And I, of course, am using StarCraft Permanent Adhesive. This is my favorite adhesive vinyl brand. I will stand beside. Your car decals are going to last longer if you're using high quality vinyl.
Yeah.
Your Dollar Tree vinyl car decals are not going to last.
Here's the minimum,
Yeah.
in my opinion. So there's permanent vinyl, there's removable vinyl,
Yes.
and at not necessarily StarCraft, but our other brand that has the 651s. Help me out. Oracal.
Yeah.
651 is the base.
Yes.
Do not go any lighter than 651 for a car decal.
Yeah.
And we've previously talked about this. Even a permanent vinyl is still removable. Like you're still gonna be able to peel it up, things like that, especially on glass.
Right, right.
On your car windows and things like that. So just remember the grade and it's the stickiness, the durability, things like that. That's why I want you to all imagine 651 is like your base. So for
Yes.
StarCraft Permanent, things like that, that's the same formula.
Right.
Pretty much.
So the
just be
permanent,
careful.
will have like a higher tack than a removable vinyl does. So if you're like noob to looking at vinyls and you're like, what's the difference? What's the
Yeah.
difference? The permanent is going to be better for a car because it's going to stay on longer, but it's not actually permanent. So
Right.
you don't have to feel like, oh my gosh, I'm not putting it on my car because it's never going to come off. It will.
Sure.
It will when you want it to, but it won't when you don't want it to. So we've got our mat here. I'm just going to go ahead and put my vinyl down. And then I've got my burnishing tool. Make sure that is down really well. Okay. And then I'm going to select continue. And we're just going to use the standard vinyl setting. So type in vinyl. Oops. So we've got premium vinyl, and I'm going to use a permanent glossy because that's what we're using today. Select done, and then we can go ahead and send this through the Cricut. Okay. I'm going to get my transfer tape ready. So I want to talk about if you're selling decals and the importance of the transfer tape that you use. I think using a good quality transfer tape is important. Like this is my favorite. Would you put, I just want to know your opinion because you prefer the masking transfer tape. Would you put that if you sold decals?
I would not use paper transfer tape for a customer.
Yes.
And the reason why is I just want it to be the best quality. Now, I have purchased decals that have a masking paper transfer tape on it.
Okay.
And it went on great. It went on perfect.
Yeah.
But for me, I would use this transfer tape, like Cricut transfer tape. I like the clear ones. I think the clear ones work better. I think
you can see.
You can see it, and as someone that may not have worked with transfer tape before, you have to remember that. So I want my customer to utilize the material that's easiest to use,
Right.
even if it costs a little bit more.
I agree. And a lot of times people really like to use the gridded transfer tape too because it helps them line it up. So that's something that you can think about. My decal is cut. I'm just making sure that it cut all the way through, and it did. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and remove this. And then we're going to go ahead and cut away the excess because we can use this vinyl another day. There we go. And then you're just going to want to weed away the excess. I I think this cut pretty good. Starcraft vinyl weeds so good.
It does.
I just love it.
The link for printable vinyl you have is for a matte waterproof permanent sticker vinyl. So why would you need another waterproof matte film over top just to make it thicker? So Sabrina, we actually put that laminate over top our matte. We think the matte provides the best print quality. And then we think our laminate sheet, and notice how I say I think, like this is an opinion, okay?
Right.
You could just use the matte paper and just subtract the thought of using the laminate. No harm, no foul. But if you want it to last longer, the best durability, things like that, we take the laminate and put over top of our great print quality so that less discoloration, lasts longer, and that's just, in my opinion, the best way to do it.
Yes, I agree. And I think that having that extra layer really extends the life of the sticker. Like, I just feel like it helps a lot in that aspect. So that's why I recommend doing that. Okay, can y'all see what I'm doing here? Okay, we're just gonna put this on. Normally I would do the taco method, but this is a really long sticker.
Yes.
So I'm just going to line the bottom. This is a straight edge on the bottom because I cut it with the grid. So I'm gonna line that up with near the bottom of the Sadie's car as straight as I humanly can.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. And then we're just going to burnish that down, and then you can remove it, and we're going to trim this baby up because it's looking a little crazy. Okay, and don't peel it up like me. Flip your mat over and then peel it off. I did that wrong. And then what we're going to do now is just remove all of this excess vinyl. I'm just going to cut this like so, trying to go as straight as possible. And listen, if you start selling decals, a paper trimmer is going to be your best bud because you can cut it super, super clean. And actually, I feel like, where did I put my scissors at? Oh,
You
here.
just had 'em.
I was like, I just had it. I'm just going to cut with my scissors. I can do it a little bit cleaner that way.
Also missed it. What was that font we used for Sadie's car?
Let's go back.
Let's
I can't
double,
remember. It's a
triple
new
check.
one.
It's a new one.
Bell bottom.
Bell bottom.
She's cute.
It's a good one.
She's cute.
I really like a thick font, you know, especially for a decal and things like that. So
Yes, me
you
too.
found it. That is
Yes.
awesome.
Okay, so I wanted to just show you all how to apply these really fast. This is obviously not a car window, but it's a glass plate. I think it's from the Dollar Tree or something. This is a little bit long, so I'm just going to trim it. We're not actually going to be putting that on Sadie's car. So
Megan says, take us to Sadie's car and slap that thing on there.
it is a really cute font.
Oh, yes.
I just don't know if it's Sadie's
Oh,
vibe.
now tell us what you're doing here, Alicia.
Okay, so what I'm doing, first of all, making sure that it fits, and it does. Now that I've trimmed the car off, I've got my alcohol right here, a paper towel, and I'm just going to clean my surface. So
You would do this with the window.
yes, you would do this with the window. I mean, make sure your
So
car is clean. We had to do the thumbnail, you guys, is my car, and it was so dirty. And I was like, Sadie, I'm going to clean this corner of my window. And so in the thumbnail, it's like one clean corner of my car window.
That's awesome.
And that's it. The rest of the car was dirty.
I love it.
So I just clean that, and you want to make sure that it dries really well and don't touch it again after you cleaned it. And then I feel like I shouldn't be the person to show you guys this because I'm such not a perfectionist when it comes to stuff like this.
But you want to teach them how you became a non-perfectionist about it because you,
Yeah, okay.
you know, you just get more comfortable the more times you do it.
I agree. So I'm an eyeballer.
Yes.
I mean, I'm trying to tell you guys how I learned how to be an eyeballer, but it's just the way my brain works. But I will say before we apply it, I like to squeegee it down on the front, flip it over, squeegee it down on the back, and then get your window, get up next to your window. We're going to remove the backing very slowly. And then we're just going to try to find the center. Now, I'm like at an angle, so don't come for me if this is crooked, okay? This is Sadie's plate now. And so I just kind of check the upper and the lower distance, as well as the left and the right distance here, and just adjust accordingly. And you can kind of touch it down right in the middle first, okay? And then we're just gonna lay that down slowly, and then you want to burnish it on really well. Now, your customers may not always have a burnishing tool, but I know that they've got a credit card or a debit card they can use. So they can whip that out, and you can even give them instructions for how to apply it if that helps. And then all you're gonna do after that is just pull up your transfer slowly. Okay. And voila, there you go. Now I've got my price sticker on the back. So there's two things that I also want to talk about. If you are doing holographic vinyl, I want you all to make sure you are using the correct transfer tape.
Yes.
You cannot use this Caesar transfer tape with holographic vinyl or any of the like sparkly fun vinyl. You need a stronger tack for that, so make sure you know what tack to use for that. Another question that I see is, can I put it on the inside of my car window? Your windows are probably tinted, so no one's going to see it. And also,
the bubbles.
I don't know if there's not. This one's actually really not bad. Yeah. But a lot of times you'll get bubbles. So if you did do it from the inside, you'd have to mirror it first and then stick it. But it doesn't not
the
look
readability
good.
and everything does not look as good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just kind of lose it. So there's that. That's
you
it.
Did it.
Yes.
All right. So Renee says, if you're making a multi-layered decal, how do you eliminate the tiny bubbles between the layers? So let's talk about that. So if I was doing a multi-layer vinyl decal, now Alicia was so kind to teach 2 different ways to do a decal. Number 1, print and cut, and then bada bing, bada boom. Number 2, you could just cut regular vinyl.
Just one layer.
Just one layer,
Yeah.
and provide them the transfer tape to apply it. So if I was going to do a multi-layer decal and stack the vinyl layers, you would provide them with just the transfer tape after you've applied and stuck all the layers. So that's number 1 I wanted to mention. Number 2, when you ask how do you eliminate tiny bubbles between the layers, you would just want to make sure to use that taco method as you're laying down the decals. I have a great tutorial where I teach, it's called how to do a multi-layer image. And I actually teach you my process of picking them all up. It's building a multi-layer bicycle. And you can just like pick each layer up. There's a secret hack, and you'll see it all just adheres to the one piece of transfer tape.
Right. And we actually go over it in the 30 Days to Master Your Cricut. I did a tutorial on it as well, layering 2 layers. So if you're a member, that's actually in your dashboard under the 30 Days to Master Your Cricut. It's like how to layer vinyl, but same concept. And then if you do find that you're still getting bubbles, my favorite hack is to take a little pin tool or like a sewing pin, and you can literally stab it, just a little stab, just a little stab, and just kind of like go
Even
over
it.
And it'll even itself out. But I try not to do that because sometimes you can see it.
Yes.
But you know, it happens. It's natural with vinyl. So
yes, I love it.